We have so many Catholics. They are over-presumptuous of their faith in Jesus, overconfident. They think just because they have some theological knowledge, some Bible knowledge about Jesus, their faith is strong. They think just because they attend daily Mass, they frequent the sacraments, their faith would be able to withstand all the trials and sufferings of life. They are much mistaken. How many Catholics would stand up for Jesus? How many Catholics will stand up for the gospel when there is an onslaught from the world? Most of us, we keep silent. We are quiet. We are timid. We are afraid to let the world know where we stand, who we stand for, what we stand for. And not only that, when trials comes into our life, when tragedy strikes, then you know whether your faith is strong enough to resist all these trials and overcome them. My dear brothers and sisters, if we are not conscious of where we stand, we need to take a reality check on our faith. But do not fear. Even when we abandon Jesus, Jesus never felt abandoned. Because why? The Father has always been with Jesus in the Holy Spirit. And so Jesus never felt alone, even in his sufferings. That's why he could overcome the world. When you are not alone, you can overcome the world. It is only when we feel we are alone. No Christian must suffer alone. Even when we are alone in suffering, we must remember the Holy Spirit is with us. Unfortunately, many of us have never encountered the Holy Spirit. Even though we might be baptized, we might even be confirmed, but our consciousness of the Holy Spirit is very superficial. For many people, the Holy Spirit is just a doctrine and not a personal experience, not a personal encounter. That is why many of our Catholics live their life as if faith is a matter of a moral philosophy on how to live our life. For many Catholics, they think life is simply a question of obeying the commandments, doing good works, so that we can save our soul. But my dear brothers and sisters, Christianity is basically a relationship with Jesus in the Holy Spirit. Without a personal relationship with Jesus, we will not die for our faith. Because few people will die for an ideology. But all of us would die for someone whom we loved. That's the reason why if you're not ready to die for Jesus, it's because Jesus is just an ideology. It's just a doctrine. He is not a person in your life. He's not someone that you love deeply. He's not someone close to you. A very conscious presence of the Holy Spirit in our life is necessary for us if we want to truly experience the permanent presence of God in our life, especially in our sufferings, in our trials. That is why sometimes I wonder, many of our young people, they go through catechism 10 years, but many of them, after 10 years, still do not have a conscious encounter with Jesus in the Holy Spirit. It's true for our CIA catechumens when they are baptized. They're more interested to receive the sacrament in a ritual way. But do they have a personal relationship? Do you have a personal relationship with Jesus in the sacraments, in the scriptures? If there is no personal relationship with Jesus, that faith cannot last. We will not withstand the trials of life. So how do you know you have received the Holy Spirit? How do you know that you are conscious of the Holy Spirit? When your life is changed. When you are passionate about Jesus. When you have fallen in love with Jesus. When you know Jesus. Then you know the Holy Spirit is with you. That is why those people who have encountered the Holy Spirit, there are manifestations in their fervor for God, in their love for Scriptures, in the desire to announce the good news, and most of all, you can see, full of faith in God's miracles and full of love for God's people. Be open, be receptive to the Holy Spirit. Pray for a personal encounter with Him.